guys, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Yvonne and you have landed on Ginger Chick Rehab, where I love to go out and search for secondhand pre-loved items, and not only to decorate my home with, but to resell. But I also love making things over. So here in the channel, I love to share my vision of what I do to these items. So in today's video, that is just what I'm doing. I'm taking some pre-loved kind of junk trash tins and making them into beautiful home decor for the spring season. So I hope you have a love of tins while you're watching this video, because there's so many that can be saved. Look at this beauty. That green is just amazing. I want to be able to put some decoupage paper on it. Now, I bought this paper last year, which is perfect for the season right now with that cute little bunny out there, and I love that grain sack striping that's going on. I just need to figure out what part of the wording I'm going to be able to keep. There's really so many options with this paper. Like, I could have centered it, trying to keep like the wreath pattern that was going around, but it's still, the top and the bottom still would have been cut off. So I decided just to keep most of the top and then just cut it from the bottom, just to have the bunny in some of the wording be the focus. So the bunny won't be centered, but that's okay. He's still so super cute. It doesn't matter what way he goes on here. So before I put it onto the tin, I want to back it to really pop that paper. So I'm just going to use some of the Fusion's Decoupage Transfer Gel and apply this, adhere it to just plain old copier paper, nothing terribly fancy, just copier paper, and that's really going to pop that image and give us a little bit of thickness. And I really love the Fusion's Decoupage Transfer Gel because it does not lighten or change the image at all. You can see that I left just a little bit of a frame of the copier paper, so that's what I'm going to cut my two sides that I need to cut down about the same width. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to burn my edges. So that's going to give it that worn look. Like the tin is a worn look, so I want this to have a worn look also. So leaving a little bit of the copier paper, that copier paper will burn, but when I'm burning it, the decoupage paper is still wet, so it really won't burn. So it just gives it a little bit of something to burn. You don't need very much of that copier paper to do this. And then if you have control issues like I do, I have a little bowl of water with a cloth in it, and I'm just making sure that I'm extinguishing the fire. It really, because the paper's wet, it won't burn very far, but I want to make sure that it's not going farther than I want it to. I am still working with my paper while it is moist. It's not completely dry, so now I'm going to apply another generous amount of that transfer gel on the back, trying to really make sure that I'm getting onto my edges, because that's what's going to help it stay down, attach it to the tin. After your paper is dry, you can put another coat of that Decoupage Transfer Gel over the image to protect it. Now we're going to fill up this with some yummies, but the Dollar Tree floral foam isn't the yummies by any means. It's just a filler, and we're going to put some florals in here. But this is a nice big tin, so we're going to have to stuff it a little bit. Good thing for the Dollar Tree. And then to hide that floral foam, I'm going to use a little bit of this Spanish moss. Now, I have a few different colors in my arsenal when I find them out and about. Some are really green, some are really brown. This one is a nice muted green, which I would love to find more of, but I don't know. It's just how it kind of goes when you're looking for Spanish moss. But yes, we're just going to cover up that floral foam. And my yummies today for this one are going to be the beige baby breath from Hobby Lobby. I love this stuff. I love the muted shade. of the stem itself. I love that little, there's so much I love about it. I use it a lot. It's like one of my go-tos, but it matches this tin, it matches that paper. So to get the most use out of it, if you cut it each individual stem off the original stem, you can really get it to be full. So I try to cut it to the point where I still have wire to be able to puncture it into that floral foam. Now my next tin is this galvanized New Age. I think it was a Hobby Lobby, but I thrifted it. So I love the little, how it has the rings around it, the indents. So I just need to first get off that tag off the bottom. So I could paint this one, but it is that galvanized that I love to make rusty crusty. So rust is a color, y'all. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take some of the Dixie Belle's Patina paint in the iron in a well-loved Dollar Tree stencil brush that's all flared out. The bristles are probably not really good for stenciling anymore, but they are great to use on the dabbing motion because to me, rust is not a smooth surface. Rust is raised and bumpy. So a dabbing technique like this seems to give that realistic rusty look. So I'm not necessarily I'm going to cover like 3/4 of this, leaving a little hints of that galvanized here and there, but it's a lot of fun to play with this patina. If you're wondering what the extra sound is that you're hearing while I'm editing, we have a kitten in our house, Tater, and he is busily playing with this toy that makes that kind of sound. So, you know, it's the life of like having a small child. It's just a small kitten who has lots of energy. Okay, let's get back to this craft. So I'm almost done. I'm not worried about patinaing the bottom because I want to make sure that I get that outer edge, and I want to get a little bit down in the inside because I don't plan on necessarily filling this all the way to the brim when I put some florals in it. So I want to make sure that I'm able to go down on those sides just a little bit in the inside. While my paint is still wet, I took it into my spray room and I'm spraying some of the Patina green spray on there that will make that yummy reddish brown rust color with this iron paint. So I'm just going to do a light misting, and then I'll probably come back in another 15 minutes and do another light misting, only because the way that this container is, that it's going to, of course, like drip to the bottom. So I want to make sure that that top layer is just not all running down to the bottom. After a few hours, this is what it looks like. It was fun leaving some of the galvanized out. It really has that realistic look. Now, if the patina spray could have just laid on it, it probably would have been more like the yellowish in there. It's just how each metal actually takes differently. But now I'm going to go ahead and seal it in with some Weather Defense clear coat. So I have a few files that I downloaded last year from Graphics Fairy, and this hair is one of them. I think it was a free download. I absolutely love it. As I said, 'tis the season for bunnies right now, all spring, and actually all year long. I just love bunnies. So all I do is copy and paste it into my Excel program and then size it to what I want to fit on this tin. But I'm doing that exact same thing where I use the transfer gel to put it onto copier paper, cut out as close as I can to the edges, just leaving a little bit of that copier paper so I'll be able to burn it. And then I let my paper dry before putting my second coat on top. I think it just helps it not get wrinkled or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and put a clear coat, which is just the transfer gel, right on top of this. The yummies for this one, oh my gosh, y'all, look at these tulips. Are they not gorgeous? I actually found these in an antique mall in somebody's booth, and I bought them all. I did, y'all. They were like $2 a piece. You can't even buy that at Hobby Lobby. They're gorgeous. They're so realistic looking. They have like metal pokers so they are going right through that floral foam. Oh, I was so excited to come across these. And yeah, 25 I think I bought. But I did not care because I had never seen any that were so realistic looking. So this pot was just perfect for these. Oh, I don't know if y'all, I love tulip. So this tin, which is actually a fake watering can, was sent to me from a viewer a little while ago in a grouping that she thought I would be inspired to make over. So I finally got my inspiration of what I would like to do with this tin. This time I'm going to heat up the metal. I don't know why I didn't do that. Heating up the metal on a tin really helps release that sticky. It's always funny, you know a trick, but then you have to struggle first, then you can remember the trick of how to do something. It's just how it works, how our brains work sometimes. So I am going to go ahead with some 220 sandpaper. I'm going to rough up the painted areas just because I want to paint this. So I want to give my paint something to grab onto. So just scuffing it up with some sandpaper will work. I'm not going to try to remove that sun-faded, kind of bleached out paper. I'll share a trick with you how to paint over paper. Really is not that difficult of trick. So the paper is just on there, but to help your paint adhere to the paper without having to try to make a hot mess of taking the paper off, if you seal it in with a couple coats of shellac, you won't really know that paper was there, and it's definitely less work. I don't recommend doing vinyl stenciling or anything like that, where you have to take vinyl off. But if you're just applying something to it, like a decoupage paper like I'm going to do, I think you'll be just fine. Or stamping on lettering. It's just a wonderful way to paint over paper and not have to remove it. And I have this, that Bayberry is yummy. Oh my goodness. Now I'm going to paint the entire can, the handles, the bottom, everything. And just like before what I did with the rust, I'll go in a little ways down on the inside, just in case when I go to put my florals in there, I don't have them all the way up to the brim. So to be able to paint as much as I'm painting with my first coat, I just slipped it on a can of spray so that I was able to get all those edges. And I do actually, after I'm done with painting, I like to mist Fusion's paint using a mister bottle just ever so slightly, just kind of helps get any brush strokes out, kind of evens it. Sometimes it does darken the paint up a little bit, but I kind of like that because it kind of adds some character. If I can link this paper, I will. If I can't, because these were purchased last year and I don't know like how often they retire something, but I still had paper to use, so I wanted to use up what I had. And these baby chicks, and I think there's a duck in there. The green matches perfect with that, 2 coats to cover that. Oh, just absolutely love this. There again, the entire paper is a little bit too large, so I just have to decide where I want to make the cuts. Same thing, sealed it in with the transfer gel so that paper is on there, it's protected. Now I'm going to fill it up with some of the Dollar Tree floral foam. I know some people hot glue their floral foam in, but just in case somebody wants to take it out, I always find that it just leaves it such a hot mess. So I rather just put enough floral foam in there that it is nice and tight. So now I'm using some of this, I think it's like a baby grass, but it's a different, darker version of baby grass that I got from a wholesale company. I absolutely love the color. I think it's going to coordinate with this green really well. So I'm cutting the stems down and so that I have wire left so I can poke it into the fluorofoam. Now, the way that I'm doing this one, I have another couple additives. I don't need any of that Spanish moss to cover it up. And my additives are it is this beautiful bird's nest and this baby chick, and that's actually like a porcelain baby chick, but it's so pretty. I thought that would coordinate. So I just have to play with it a little bit. I might have to take some more of that greenery out, but just get it so that it's a nice tight fit. So now my next can is actually a paint tin, paint can. And I don't need the lid for this project. I just need the can itself. I always love that beautiful patina. I love that it has a wire handle. I'm just going to go ahead and get it cleaned up first. Now I want to be able to use some of the milk paint on this, and I would like it to not just necessarily peel right off. Sometimes that happens because metal's not a porous surface. It's not getting absorbed in. So I'm going to use some of the Fusion's Grip Tight to help it adhere. So Grip Tight is just, it's a bonder. So you just brush it on. This one, just one coat is all it says it needs. I like it because it dries clear, so when my paint hopefully crackles, you don't see it underneath color. So I'm just going to apply a thin coat, set it off to the side, and let it dry. Now it's recommended that you let it sit for 12 hours. To paint this tin up, I'm going to be using Sweet Pickins, the ocean color. It's such a yummy blue color. So if you've not used Sweet Pickins milk paint before, it's equal parts powder to equal parts water. You stir it for 2 minutes and then let it sit off to the side for a few and let it thicken up. the way that this tin was. It kind of ran a little bit, but that's okay. It's character. It's supposed to look like an old paint can. So I'm not sanding it. I'm not doing anything like that. It's just that perfectly imperfect, but I do need to seal my milk paint in. So I'm just giving it a clear coat of spray with some weather defense. This hair was a Etsy download from last year. I love it. The primitive vibe that it's got going on, the distressing around the edges. So same thing of how we are putting these all on. Decoupage transfer gel onto the copy paper to be able to burn the edges. For this one, I'm using this paper grass that I thrifted a bag of it. I thrifted this green bag, and it had a brown one that I grabbed at a garage sale. Oh, y'all, I wish I could link it for you. I wish I knew where to get it, because after I showed it the first time in a video, I had lots of emails and messages of where did I get this grass. I have searched and searched for it. And I know that the person that actually bought the grass bought it from a wicker place that was going out of business. So I have no idea why they even had it. But oh, I just love it. And I love that it's not crinkled. And I love the muted color of it. Oh, so I try to be wise with my decisions of what I use it on. But I'm going to be using some of the baby grass stem to fill this up. Next tin, it is metal, but I believe it's probably a mug of some sort. So I thrifted it, minimal, so I want to use it as a vase, as a planter, to put some yummy greenery in and to paint it up. I do not want to open up the top coat on this coppery, so I'm not going to pre-sand any of this, but I am going to use a coat of the Grip Tight bonding agent to help my paint adhere to it. Dark as this copper is, I'm really going to lighten this up by using the pantry door green. This is just a fun spring green color. So same thing, equal parts, stir it up, and then set it off to the side and let it thicken. And yes, unpredictable as milk paint always is, look at that beautiful crackle on this. This was just one coat. I felt like it was enough. I did not add a second coat, but I am going to seal this in with some weather defense spray. Milk paint is unpredictable. Metals take differently. Every item you do it on takes differently, but oh, those are just gorgeous. And probably some of it will end up chipping off and I'll love it even more. So now for the graphics on this one, I'm using this White Rabbit in White Bunny. There again, it was an Etsy purchase. So I have it from last year and I'm happy to use it again. I let my graphics dry, and I did seal in my paper, and now my paper is dry. But I do want to add a little bit more age to this pantry door, especially since the paper itself is a little more age patina. So what I'm using now is I'm using some of the Fusion's aging wax, and then I'm just going to go over the entire thing. Now, I can tell that I have some chunks of this paint that are going to be coming off, and that was another reason for wanting to wax this. I want to see what will come off and give it age. Since I have such a bright green on this one, even though I antiqued it and aged it down, I'm going to be using Walmart's lavender. And I have 3 different types of Walmart lavender, and I probably haven't bought any Walmart lavender in 3 years. So I'm still using quite the stash. But when I'm cutting it down, I don't want it to be terribly tall. So I'll cut my metal stems down, and then I like my arrangements. I love them to have lots of character if they can. I love to have them nice and full. So I'll just kind of intermix my lavender together. So thank you so much for watching today's video, and what did you think? Yes, painting some of them up, not having to paint some of them up, rusting some of them. They don't necessarily even have to be tins, just to give them new life. And just something about putting some florals in there. They're absolutely gorgeous, from secondhand to thrifted to just buying florals new at Hobby Lobby when they are on sale, and then just printing off some kind of decoupage. Buying decoupage, printing off even a decoupage of printable off of Etsy just makes beautiful home decor. So give me a quick comment down below which of the items I made over today was your favorite, and if I have inspired you to look at secondhand finds in a new way. So thanks again for watching today's video, and as always, if you're part of our YouTube family, thank you so much. And if you're new and you're checking out the channel for the first time and you liked what you saw, please hit that subscription button along with the notification bell so you don't be uploaded a new video. And we will see you next time, guys, and you can see what we're up to. Bye.